let me see if I'm still logged in. Yes. So I just put up a demo environment. So this is a demonstration environment that we used a while ago. Well, basically, I'm not going to dive into all the different functionalities, but there are a few things that I want to show. One of the things is down here. It's a booster session. So if you would sign up for this open workshop, what we always do is we use a booster session to walk you through the whole solution. So that's basically the core of what we do in that demo. Then for now, what I will do is I will just go and start a new topic, because it will just show you more or less the way the whole stuff works, and then I'll show you some of the network results as well, because that's quite nice.
Great.
So adding a topic. Now I got to be creative. Well, I've just been talking about electromagnetic radiation measurements. So the big advantage is that I know nothing about it, so that's really good. Next, well, measuring electromagnetic radiation, specifically for the take a Dutch artist, Mondrian project.
Oh yeah.
Whatever's whatever that refers to. Of course, here you can, maybe you see you can use web links here. We have customers that use this to connect, for instance, to internal sources. Maybe those could be learning sources. So if you have skills there that people would want to develop, you can link them to a learning repository, or you could link, for instance, to standard operating procedures or whatever's available in your organization. We're not going to that detail right now, but just for now, just a text description. Next step is, well, you can see the different steps on top here as well. It's what do you know about it? So I said, well, probably maybe basic, that would be right. You can just select whatever level you think is most appropriate. We'll go to next. And this is basically the question where it all sort of comes together. Like, share the names of other experts on this knowledge topic. So who do you recommend that people connect to for this topic? So let me just, I know that Kendra will probably know about it, so I'll just write down her name. And as you see, well, we cannot find her name because she's not in the system right now. She's not part of our group or part of our project, but still, you can just add that name. You can just keep on typing, have that name, and just say, well, I want to add that person right now. Of course, you can also, let me see who else is in there. Say, well, I want to name someone else who's already in there, and just click on their name to select that straight away.
Excellent.
So that's, of course, if you run this within an organization, we have the people in the organization already in there. So anyone you know will probably be already appearing. But of course, still, if you have someone new or someone that you personally know, you can list those people right there.
Okay, that's good.
Submit. There we are. We just made a knowledge topic in, well, I've been talking quite a lot, but if you've done this for a few times, you can do this really, really fast. It's a topic, it's made by me. Well, I use my alias Marnix Jones, which is my demo account name. But well, you can see we've chosen basic. If by now maybe other people have said something about themselves, and I say, oh well, I said basic, but looking at what other people do, I may say beginner. So save it again.
And
then it changes it again. So go back to the topic straight away. Now I'm a beginner, so you can just put down any level you want. You can endorse anyone you want. That works just like that. You can click on anyone's name, then just see their profile. In this case, this is someone who didn't put up anything themselves, so there's no
Mhm.
expertise spread there, but still you can see, hey, that person is expertise is critical thinking, driving change and innovation. Oh, well, by the way, let's give him a thumbs up on that topic as well.
Okay.
Submit that. So that's basically the way you could go about. It's in a knowledge booster that's even, you do that even faster. So then you work with a group that say the knowledge booster is a synchronous activity, very much like the old face-to-face kind of version where you would be together with your team and just boost that team's knowledge. What do we find important for our team and who knows about it? So
Mhm.
generally, knowledge boosters take about 45 to 60 minutes, and you get, if you do a typical knowledge booster with 20 people, you get 150 knowledge topics, and you get 1,500 to 2,000 knowledge endorsements. So that's
Wow.
1,500 to 2,000. And we got even more. I think top that we had is, I think it was a knowledge booster with 19 people that came very close to 3,000 knowledge endorsements. So individual people that have been connected to a knowledge topic.
Wow.
Those people were really active in that booster session.
Wow. Awesome. Okay.
Well, just one more thing for like a quick glance of what it can do.
Yeah.
Opening the network view. We have a couple of different network views in here, but what you can do, this is our knowledge network view where you can see people and knowledge areas. If you hover, you can see what the topic is or what the person
Oh,
is. What the person is.
huh.
There's a little search in there. So if I'm looking for Kendra, I can just find her.
Right.
And as soon as I found her, I will just zoom in and I can get on the right side. I see a little like
Yeah.
little pane. I got some information. Of course, by now I just put up your name, so there's no contact information that would be right here.
Right.
But still, we can find you there. We delete it. We can zoom back out. Also, if you're zoomed in, you get a little more information with all the different labels. So you can see the names of the people that are
Mhm.
in the network. You can also select something by clicking on it. So just click on that topic. Oh, now I think, so let me go to myself.
Right.
Oh, I see. Probably it sort of screws up with the video, but
Yeah. Yeah. It's technology day.
yeah, that's always the big advantage if you do live demos
Right.
in
Right.
with streaming and all the stuff. But
Yeah.
so then maybe that's a really good pointer right here. Like if you want to see this for yourself, sign up for that
Yeah.
open workshop.
Yeah.
It costs you nothing, just an hour of your life. If you're willing to give that, I'll I'll promise you have an experience that you haven't had before, and you will probably get something from it. And if you don't like it, you only spent 1 hour on it, so that
Right.
should be all right.
Oh, I can see lots of applications for this in so many ways, and I'll tell you about some of those that I am thinking about specifically when we're done for just a few minutes. So anyway, at this point, what I'd like to do is to ask you to reflect on where you are with your company and your career and just your experience in general, and just talk about, how you feel about what you've done, where you think you might be going, and then maybe give any advice that you have for students in their careers.
Wow, that's and then I'll try to keep it concise.
Right. And
Which,
do this in 30 seconds, right?
yeah. Well, I may need a little more than that.
You can have it. You can have more.
But I'll try and keep it relatively concise. So well, as I mentioned in the beginning, so I don't have a like HR or people management background. Of course, I did do some business studies as well, but I would say I'm more from a technical background myself. So, um, and to me, I've never seen that as a drawback. I've seen it as an enriching opportunity.
Yep.
Though it's also a challenge to sometimes like keep up with all the other areas of interest. And I think if I look at knowledge management and the way that knowledge management is run, there are a lot of like expertise and capabilities that you would need to do a full knowledge management like project or full knowledge management department. So our solution is part of it, but if you want to do like a full knowledge management, you should have people do information management. You should people that do something with archiving and
Mhm.
keeping stuff up to date. You should have people that are good with facilitation and working with groups and triggering questions and sort of you should have people that are more into the more strategic part, like, hey, how do you draft a knowledge strategy and what actions can you actually perform to get there? So there are many different aspects to knowledge management, and I don't think there's one person in the world who's good at everything.
Mhm.
Everyone has their own like strong points and some focus that they have. So you always need other people. And as soon as you start working with tools or with applications to support it, you also need technical people to make that all work for you or to connect and integrate different technical solutions.
Right.
Um, so for me, knowledge management is a like maybe a very good example of a field of knowledge that needs that collaboration. You need to be able to be curious, be open to learn from other people with other backgrounds, with other knowledge that they bring. So um, that's also what I would say to maybe the students that are looking at this or taking this course. Um, Try and be curious, of course. Try and bring your own expertise, whatever that is. Also, if you're now in university, you may not have the expertise that someone has who's been in a field for 20 years, but still curiosity, asking questions, asking people to explain or elaborate on whatever they're doing, and even challenging people if you disagree. Um, Challenge them on their opinions, challenge them on their whatever they sort of put forward. If you do that in a constructive and positive way, I try to do that as well a little bit on LinkedIn. Um, Sometimes it works. You get into a discussion with someone. I had some discussions with people on the use of Excel. I had some discussions with people on social network analysis. So that's something we sort of slightly are into, but not completely. So there were some experts in that field that sort of disagreed with me on a few things. Um, I think that's all right if you come from a positive and constructive
Mhm.
background and you try to really learn from that interaction. And it doesn't mean that you have to agree with someone. It's all
Right.
right to disagree. There's no problem in that, but you shouldn't go into insulting people or discrediting them on a personal level. It's you can still disagree with their opinions or their approach in how they sort of try to solve a problem.
Right. Good points. Very good points. Those are excellent. So what's next?
What's next? Well, as I mentioned, we launched our first integrated solution, which enables us also to even better work with clients in the distance. We have signed our first contracts with people that we've never ever met before. So
Wow.
fully online, sales, delivery, everything completely online. I personally think, and that's like when I'm more in my dreaming state, I think that that whole procedure that we sort of supply could be completely automated. Maybe I'm not right. Maybe that's wrong, but that's sort of what we try to deliver on as a company, trying to make it as as easy as possible and as easy also as possible for people to tap into. So one of the things I want to do is to make the team assessment completely automated and completely online delivery. So that would mean that if you run a team of knowledge workers, you could just like look at a YouTube video saying, well, this is what we will do with your team. You can just upload a Excel file with some names and maybe some background knowledge areas that you want, and you'll just boom, right away you have your knowledge inventory set up. Everyone's invited. You can just run that without involving us as a consultant. And I think that helps because it will make the solution cheaper for users, and it will make it more scalable from us.
Yeah.
So I would say that working in that direction, that's basically what we're doing right now, and trying to explore that even further.
We had a conversation interview with Jean-Claude Monet. I don't know if you know him. He was the chief knowledge officer at Microsoft for a few years, and he retired and he just does consulting, and he's on our board of advisors as well. And he was talking about Chat GPT and artificial intelligence. And I am pretty suspicious that you've been thinking about that. Do you see a role for AI in your product?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I think it's so I've also been writing a bit on LinkedIn on it, and I've been in I've done a invited talk in a AI and computer science conference last year in Malta, and I was also in a panel discussion there on the use of AI. I think it has huge potential benefits, but it also has a lot of constraints,
Yeah,
especially if you're looking into decision making, and especially if you're looking at decision making
right,
involving people. So if you want to say, is this a picture of a cat or a dog? Then probably you can find the training corpus that's large enough to have that AI trained, and you can sort of have an AI solution that solves that problem or gives that answer
right.
pretty well. And of course, you can make muffins that look a lot like dogs, and I know all the examples, and that's a lot of fun to look at. But generally speaking, we agree upon this is a dog, this is a muffin, this is a cat, and you can train the solution like we know what's right and what's wrong.
Right.
Whenever it concerns people, those decisions are a lot fuzzier,
Mhm.
and those decisions change over time. So our view on what for instance, a good employee is like, or a good hire is like, those views change over time. Like I think, let's me get back like 40 years ago, my mom got fired from her job when she was getting married.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
that was not uncommon at the time. So it wasn't because of her. That was what people were doing. Like, hey, you just work for a few years, you get married as a woman. That means you quit your job because that's done. And
Right.
that's not where we are today. Luckily not. And I
Right.
mean, same thing goes for other demographics, for people from different backgrounds. Our view on what you want and what's successful changes over time. So if you look at decision making on people, I would say you want to use the power of AI to find the stuff that you're not aware of. So find hidden gems, so get notified like, hey, you should look here, you should look there. But please never get your AI to take your final decision, and sort of especially not if it's based on previous success. Amazon did a really nice one on that. Only hiring people that look a lot like successful hires from the past, and then they were sort of surprised that it turned out with all middle-aged white men.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if we could say it, although I suspect this is not 100% true, but I would think that AI would be better with explicit knowledge than with tacit knowledge, because the tacit knowledge is that stuff that we hold in our heads, and it's almost like the heuristics and the gut feeling, our intuition, and furthermore, our emotional perspective on things. I read somewhere, Drew Weston, who's a professor at Emory University, I think I told you this in our first conversation we had on Zoom, that he and then Jennifer Lerner, who's at the Harvard Business School, both have said that up to 95% of our decisions are made outside of conscious awareness, so that it's in the realm of emotion that drives a lot of our decision making. And Jennifer Lerner has studied the role of anger in CEOs and decision making. And apparently this is something that they have learned to use to facilitate productivity and move the organization along. So those are the challenges that I see also coming with AI. And I think that's kind of what you basically said. I just am looking at it from really that human behavior and the that emotional aspect. I know I've played around with Chat GPT quite a bit, and those are the kinds of questions that I think about and try to put it to Chat GPT and try to catch it.
Yeah. No, but I've seen great examples of using that. For instance, Chat GPT. The nicest one I've seen was I think it was like a gardener or landscaper, and he was a dyslexic. So he had to communicate with his customers, but he wasn't able to write emails, like proper emails, because he sort of got stuck in that. And then therefore his customers sort of had very low esteem of him, because they get like these very crappy emails and it's like very confusing to them. So a friend of him sort of developed a interface saying, if you put up the relevant information, saying, for instance, the address, the time of the day, and maybe basic activities that you're going to do, and you can even make typos in there, there's no problem, then that he made a sort of a short script that made a nice email from it. So it says, and he probably made typos and mistakes. So it says Kendra, a time and an address, and maybe the number of people or whatever they're going to do, and the time that they're going to start, so they don't wake you up. And that program would make it, thanks a lot for inquiring for our services. We can come by that and that address at this time. Does that suit you? And then put in a line like, if you need some more information, feel free to reach out to us. So making a nice message. And ever since using that, he got like a lot more people like coming back to him, responding to him, feeling really nice. And still he did the same work. It was just that he couldn't communicate by email, and they made that AI sort of fill in that little blank. But still, you need the basic information from that person. That when you will be there, what you're going to do, AI doesn't know about it. It can make it in a nice message, but if you put nonsense in it, like garbage in is garbage out, if you put nonsense information in it, it will produce a very nice email with
nonsense. Right. Yeah. Jean-Claude was saying that he had Chat GPT create a contract for him, and he looked at the contract and he said, I didn't take it to a lawyer to evaluate the actual legality of it. He said, but eyeballing it, he said, it looked very good. He was really surprised. And he said that he believes that AI, we are at a tipping point now with AI, and that, that Chat GPT and probably Bard, I haven't seen Bard, but that those are game changers. So we're entering kind of a new phase in technology, and it's an exciting time to be here. Some people are a little worried, but I certainly can see the applications for some of what you're doing. So I think that's really great. I love it. I love it. So I will take this moment then to thank you. And you may be hearing from the students. I will make sure they have your LinkedIn. If they have questions, they'll probably be reaching out to you. And this was really amazing. I'm going to sit in on some of your classes. I'm really curious about this. And I see so much potential for this. And I'm so glad that you came and talked with us today. I changed the title of your talk while you were talking, from knowledge sharing to a quote that I quoted you on: mapping informal knowledge networks.
That's perfect. That's awesome.
That's great. So thank you, Bart. It's wonderful to see you. And again, big thanks. We're so lucky to have you.
You're welcome. Thanks for the invite. It was great doing this, and I hope it also helps all the students to get a little more insight from, well, my perspective and my view on the whole area. So, well, hope it helps. And as I mentioned, I'm open for questions, discussions, inquiries, whatever people want. I'm relatively active on LinkedIn, so that would be the best approach to go, or contact me directly. That's fine as well.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to stop recording.